That's like what's new in my life.
How exciting.
Okay, you want to get started?
Yeah. By the way, that's all going to be part of the show now.
Fun!
Gotta start recording at some
Yay!
point. Funnily enough, I was going to start the show off with a good evening, but since this is pre-recorded, good evening is not really apropos, even though it is the evening for us. It may very well be the middle of the day, or the early morning, or midnight
Well,
for you.
good day then, and welcome to Nerd Rage, episode 172.
Yay, she remembered. And she was actually around to do the intro herself. Wow. I'm so proud of her. Proud,
I can
proud.
do that because we're recording.
And for the record, I look completely ridiculous right now. This tiny little, I don't even know how many pixels even. Little pickle wide pickles.
I don't know how many pickles you have either.
But I.
I'm just drinking my tea. Pay no attention.
Anyway. I don't know how many pixels large that little box in the corner is, but that's because of the new version of Skype, and I can't resize that. And Shannon refuses to let me actually just have my camera separate so we can be the same size and not look completely stupid. I'm going to be the only one looking completely stupid. Because I'm tiny.
But then
The
I
corner.
can't see you. I can't, see your reactions and stuff.
Yeah, so maybe it's something you have to deal with.
I don't want to deal with it. All right, fine. Next time you can be just as big as me. You're gonna have to eat a lot though, kid.
Don't worry. I'm taller than you.
That's not hard to do.
I know. But somehow, real Tim still failed at that.
We're both fun size.
Yep.
I
Anyway.
still think we should all get together one day. It would be so hilarious because, there you would be super tall and we'd
Feels like Indianapolis would be the place to do it. It's not quite,
probably.
it's not really the midpoint, but it's in the middle.
If all goes well, then Ruth will be with me on the 4th of July this year.
Ah, yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yep. It's gonna be fun. Fun, fun.
Anyway, so we went into this show 2 days late, incidentally, because someone was busy. Wait, what again?
I was helping move more stuff into my sister's apartment and set it up, and I built her shelves and helped arrange all of her Transformers and Halo figures. It looked really cool.
Yeah, okay. We're recording 2 days late, so this probably won't be up until, I'm going to imagine, Thursday, because I'm probably not going to process the video until Wednesday, and I might have to split it in half depending on how long we take again, so... Well, actually, I'm almost definitely going to have to split it in half just because the upload speed's so pitiful. But anyway, so yeah.
Unless we keep it to 35 minutes, and then you probably get it all at one go.
I don't know how feasible that's going to be. Also, this is probably going to be a little larger because I'm recording at a higher resolution again. I had it
high resolution, fun.
Yeah. I mean, not that it helps because your camera's not exactly an HD camera here, but
because it's in my ancient laptop. That's why. I told you I just got my computer working, so I might actually have a better camera and a better operating system and all of that.
But to be fair, a better camera only goes so far as your internet is able to handle it. So. I have no idea how my video actually shows up for you. It shows up perfectly clear on my end, according to my camera.
People are really good at finding the silver lining. You're really good at finding all the things that are going to be absolute crap.
Yes. Well, gotta keep all that stuff in mind. Don't want to be making mistakes. Anyway. So, yeah, we went into this actually having no clue what to talk about, did we? Didn't we? We didn't really discuss it at all beforehand.
Yeah. Well, okay, so... I just finished watching the Netflix series Anne with an E. the series about Anne of Green Gables.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Never heard of that. No, I
what?
didn't hear. I know. I mean that I never heard of the Netflix series.
Oh, so you do know of
Know of.
the movies from the 80s
Know
with
of.
Megan Follows?
But I can't.
You need to watch that, young
Ugh,
man.
only so much
It's
time in my
so
life.
good. Okay. It's just really good. You need to watch it. Ruth hasn't watched it, but she has read the books. I have not read the books. I started, but the books were borrowed and I had to give them back. So I never finished.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those weird instances where I haven't read it. But I've watched both the movies and the series. Um, so I mean, I can prattle on about that.
Maybe you
I
could talk a bit.
love, 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 love the series. Not the new series, but the like the made for TV movie that they did in the 80s. Megan Follows, I think it was Jonathan Crombie. Yeah, it was awesome. Um, and the Netflix series isn't bad. It's just different. There have been, I think the Federalist ran one really scathing review. It's not quite as awful as what they made it sound like. Um, it just, for one thing, the producer wanted to make it a bit darker. Uh, the thing about Anne of Green Gables is that she's so, like, she's just optimistic to a fault. She's so deliberately just, optimistic about everything.
Sounds like a person I
And
can't get along with.
um but it's not because she knows nothing of sadness or pain, and it's quite the opposite. She had, a rough life, and
Oof.
I think it's powerful in the fact that she's optimistic despite all of that.
Mm-hmm.
In the Netflix series, it's a lot more grim. Like she has moments where like she remembers things that happened in her past, and it's almost like a PTSD moment where she's sort of separated from what's going on. Um, some of the sort of some of the optimism is really lost from that character, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is excuse me, is
Stop
sad.
dying. I told you that earlier.
I can't. It's just I keep on dying. Um, you know, I thought it was pretty good at first. As the series wrapped up, I was kind of getting to the point where I'm like, okay, enough horrible things already. Let something good happen. Um, because it does begin to feel a bit like, just misery, uh, for lack of a better word, misery porn. It's just
Mm-hmm.
horrible things all the time. And um, it, that began to wear on me, especially because one of the characters, as far as I know, hadn't been suicidal, but suddenly was. Yeah, it's weird stuff. So
Hmm.
I don't know because I haven't read the books, how closely it follows, but I'm s- I'm kind of curious if which one of those follows closer. Uh, sorry, because if indeed the Netflix series is just making things awful for the sake of drama,
Mm-hmm.
um, then it's really going to lose my interest quickly.
I
um,
see. How?
because it's kind of it's like I said, it started out really good. It ended not as great. Um, and I'm trying to keep an open mind about it, and maybe because it is a series, it would necessarily have sort of a longer duration. And it's possible that, those character arcs and the things that are so wonderful and lovable about the characters sort of become part of them as time goes on. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if they're following that or if they're just trying to make it appeal more to a modern audience
Mm-hmm.
and are going about it because there's some other stuff too. There's you know, there's something was insinuated about one of the characters that would, of course, make it more relevant to a modern audience.
I
That
think.
wasn't in the 80s movie.
I think I see what you're
um,
going with that.
yeah, like a question of sexuality. And
Yeah, because you need to put that into everything.
right, I don't know how it is in the books, and that's why I want to read the books so that I can better gauge like what their motivation is here.
Mm-hmm.
If they're trying to get more detailed because books are always more detailed,
Right.
or if they're just throwing a bunch of stuff in, because, they think it's edgier and it would appeal more or something.
Admittedly, knowing
Um,
the modern temperament, particularly when it comes to entertainment, it feels like the latter is more likely.
I'm trying not to be so cynical, but I kind of feel like that might be the case. Cause, while there was like some girl power moments in the 80s movie and in the character of Anne herself, um, it feels like that's also kind of been amplified a little bit.
Ooh.
And um, I mean, really, in the older series, it was more about she she knew that she wasn't beautiful, so she wanted to be really smart,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know, she competed academically much more than any other girl did.
Ah, I see.
So it was sort of something endearing about her character. Um, and now it's sort of almost like a feminist sort of thing. So I don't know. And I'm not gonna say it's a bad series. I'm not gonna say it's a great series.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was enjoyable enough to watch until towards the end of
Right.
the season that's on right now, and then I was like, if people could stop getting like beat up and abused and go into like depressive, suicidal thoughts, that would be great. If
Hmm.
that could end at some point.
Okay then.
So
Glad we.
anyhow, that's sort of my hot take on Anne with an E.
Okay then. Feel like I've learned something new. Not really. I don't know what that was.
Always a learning experience here on Nerd Rage.
I suppose so. Um. Of course, I don't watch things for the most part, so it's not really something I can discuss. Well, what can I discuss then?
Have you watched any of Iron Fist?
Nope. I've not been thinking about that at all. Frankly, it was enough of a hassle to get my computer back up and running so I could do video games and do new recordings. Thinking about Netflix has just not been anywhere on my radar because, it's not the only thing on my plate, of course, because, well, I'm moving in 3 weeks.
Oh
So,
yeah, that little thing. I mean,
that's
no reason at all why that would take up so much of your time and attention.
so I've been trying to, so I've also been trying to go through all like my old stuff, because there's lots of old stuff here at my parents. I'm trying to figure out what needs to go, what I'm going to keep. For example, I'm, keeping things like this, this little toy X-Wing.
I love it.
This was like the very first, because the Star Wars Action Fleet was a series of models that came out during the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s. And this was the first thing my mother ever got me. It was a combination of the X-Wing and Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. As you can tell, this one's endured the most battle damage because it's missing its laser here, and the tip of this one here is also missing. But this is like the very first one, and I'll be bringing a few of these with me to Indiana, actually, to kind of nerd up my room a little, because what else would I do, right?
Oh, man. Me and my brother, we so deeply regret that we don't still have some of the toys from the 80s because, geez,
We're thousands of dollars now.
Gee, plus they were so dang cool. There was this metal set, like the metal ships, the little metal figures, probably like loaded with lead paint. I have no idea, but they were awesome. As long as you didn't chew on them. And that kind of stuff, like it was so heavy duty, but it's just gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. I've reached the point where I'm looking at all my Legos now, mostly Star Wars again, because
you need, Nathaniel's expert opinion on what to do with those.
Well, I'm definitely keeping them, though. Who knows what's going to happen to them? But yeah,
He's like the resident Lego dork.
Yes, he is. Oh, he is. But yeah, so
not really dork. It's geek. It would be Lego geek because he's
a
bit obsessed and
he's a
very,
dork.
very knowledgeable about all things Lego.
I mean, he's geek too, but he's definitely a dork. He is 100% a dork. He makes me look like I'm a well-adjusted human being sometimes. So, yeah, I'm not taking that back either, Nathaniel. Just so you know, that's not happening. You're stuck with that.
He probably wears that with pride.
Pride is not the word I would use, but he wears it.
Have you seen his Instagram with his Legos? I mean...
Again, no, I haven't. So pride is the question here.
But it's so cool. Like now, I want Lego figures because
I didn't even know he had an Instagram. So.
Well, he does now.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I mean, that's because I'm not on Instagram myself. But
you need an Instagram.
Why would I need an Instagram? I don't have pictures. Like, I do have many pictures now, but...
Well, you can be one of those, like, weird stalker people that just follows everybody and looks at their pictures and never posts anything.
I mean, yeah, I could theoretically do that.
I mean, people do that.
Yeah. Especially where hot women are concerned. But,
Oh, gosh.
Internet stalking.
To be clear, we do not condone it.
Oh, I was gonna say
despite the thumbs up.
I was gonna say condoned by at least 50% of the Nerd Rage crew.
No.
But anyway. But yeah, so there's that there's that. I've been going through all this little geeky nerdy stuff the last few days, and I have more to do. There's a lot in my room. But at some point I'm gonna find I'm gonna find our board games where I'm gonna find Monopoly Star Wars and a Star Wars chess set.
Yeah, so cool.
But yeah. Besides that though, yeah, I have to get this all done in the next 2.5 weeks, really. To get this done in the next 2.5 weeks because yeah, we have a house now. Bug and Vanessa officially signed for it. I utilized an e-signature, an whatever, DocuSign or whatever it is. to handle that on my end, and they signed for it officially yesterday, so we officially have a house now. So
Awesome.
when I go, there actually will be a place there waiting for me. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah. So there's that. Things are moving forward. Things are changing. Things are words. I forgot all the words I was gonna say.
Words and stuff and things.
And things, especially things.
Awesome.
But yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm not as excited as I should be about it, but it is what it is. You know? I think I'm more just apprehensive because it's all just so new to me. You know? There's this whole idea that I'm actually, quite literally, actually going to basically be on my own for the first time in my life. It's like, oh. You know? I mean, I still lived with family when I was in Jersey, so... so strictly speaking, that really wasn't, I can't really say I was living my own, so this is going to be the first time where I'm like, yeah, I'm basically going to be in charge of all the adult responsibilities now. A little late, maybe, but in charge of all the adult responsibilities in my life. So there you go. We'll see how that goes.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
Meanwhile, it's gonna be in a few months. It's gonna be the picture of that house burning with the little girl in the foreground. Except it's gonna be Shannon's face instead. A little too happy. It's supposed to more look devious.
I can't. I don't know how.
Sure you don't. Sure you don't.
It's just not. It's not something I'm familiar with.
I'm sure. Totally believe you. 100%. Still playing with this little A-wing. But
So, games. Have you done anything with the games and the gaming and the channel?
Well, I haven't done anything with the channel just because I can't upload anything. I do have to do a vlog before I leave Pennsylvania, though, just because. Because there's nothing been put up in the channel since the beginning of April. No, the end of March. Not even beginning of April, since the end of March. So I need at least to put up a vlog and tell everyone what's going on. But I have been recording. I have been recording, though, as often as I can. I recorded a small batch of Overwatch videos. I've recorded a new session of Don't Starve Together with Aki and Rand from Montreal. Also, I started recording a new Third Age Total War series. I've been playing as something a little different this time. I've been playing as Umbar, first of all, I only tried to play an evil faction once before, and it went disastrously. It ended in a lot of rage because it was very difficult. Playing as the Orcs of Gundabad was a very, very, very bad idea. But playing as Umbar is a little easier because you can't just kind of get your capital overrun immediately by dwarves. So that's been a little more pleasant, and the increased emphasis on naval combat also adds something a little different to the overall game experience, since most of the time it's more armies marching over land. So engaging in things like coastal raiding is a bit different. Yeah, it makes things a bit different. So I've been trying to enjoy that. It's a bit tricky because their forces aren't as tough as Gondor's, but we'll see. Can I win the War of the Ring for Sauron? Probably.
If anyone can, you can.
I'm sure. So yeah, there's that. I've also been trying to figure out a couple of other games that I could potentially record for. The channel. I can't think. I'm having trouble thinking of anything though that won't be excruciatingly boring to watch because, I'm excruciatingly boring to watch. But I've been like thinking of like dabbling in a couple of games I've done before. But I want something new. That's the thing. I want something that I haven't done before. Because I've played Enter the Gungeon. I've played I've played Death Road to Canada. But I kind of want to. They want to tackle some new things. There's some things I really want to tackle that I think would do better in live streams, but I can't do live streams right now, so that's unfortunately out. But like for instance, like the game Endless Space 2 is releasing on Friday, full release on Friday. Thinking of actually playing that. Another strategy game, but I like the original Endless Space. I liked Endless Legend, another game that Amplitude produced. And so I kind of want to do Endless Space 2 because it looks like it's basically Endless Space, but with all the things but kind of improving on all the things the original Endless Space kind of did wrong. So I'm looking forward to that. But besides that, I have absolutely no idea. Like, for example, I have Fallout 4. I might play that. But I forgot I bought that in December. Like, I totally forgot. I was just looking at this right before my computer broke. I was looking at the list. Like, oh, I bought Fallout 4. When did I do that? But yeah, I'm considering doing that, or maybe a game like RimWorld, which is a colony simulator. RimWorld is the kind of game that gets you thinking about the cockamamie scenarios that happen in it. For example, how in the world does an escape pod that crashes right next to your colony? How in the world does someone end up naked and injured inside it after getting shot?
Naked and injured, huh?
Yeah. And I'm not even sure. It's like the escape pod lands and okay, here we go. There's just this person lying there naked and bleeding and dying, and I have to get them or else they'll die. And yeah, I'm not. RimWorld scenarios are a little kooky at times. But the thing is that it's also in an alpha state right now. It's actually an early access game on Steam. But it's a lot of fun. It's like I said, it's a colony simulator, and you kind of manage trying to build a colony. And it's clear that not all the features are implemented yet, but it's got a lot of groundwork to it, and I enjoy it. And if you enjoy simulation games like that, kind of similar to, not similar per se, but sort of like if you think like The Sims or something, it's something along those lines, but not quite, because it's a little more complex. It's one of those games that tries to get a lot more details in. Like with The Sims, you're just worried about how your Sims socially interact and whether or not they have to use the bathroom or not. With this colony management, though, you have to make sure that, say, your buildings are properly cooled with air conditioners. You have to make sure that your buildings are getting power. You have to make sure that that injured colonists get treated of their wounds, or they might get infected. So on and so forth. So, it's more complex than The Sims, but it's quite a bit of fun. But I might play that. But I kind of also want to get away from doing only those kinds of games. Strategy and, well, I guess it's simulation, but it's also sort of a strategy game in its own way. But I kind of want to get away from that, but I guess I'll figure that out in my own time. I have a few weeks left to, I have a few weeks of uninterrupted time to record, so I'll take advantage of that.
Play games and record and sort through all your action figures from your childhood.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about right.
That's like the perfect hiatus before you have to really get into adulting.
Yeah, guess it is. We'll see. We shall see.